Good evening. Welcome to the May 13th Cabarrus County Board of Education business session. The board has just come out of a closed session. We will move to 4.01 and I will call for a motion to approve the closed session minutes for April 8th, 15th, and 22nd and make them confidential.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Lindsay, a second by Mr. Floyd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. We will move to 4.02 where I'll call for a motion to approve the personnel report.
So moved.
Madam Chair, I asked to be recused due to being related to some of those on that list.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Treadaway. So I have a motion by Ms. Lindsay. I need a second. I have a second by Mr. Walter. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The personnel report is approved as presented. We'll move to 5.01 with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'll please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're going to move to 6.01. Board members, before we adopt the agenda, we need to add an action item at 13.03 to our agenda. And that item is to enter into an engagement with Johnson, Allison Hord and Campbell and Shatley law firms. This is for 6 months, for 5/13/2024 to 11/30/2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Ms. Lindsay, a second by Mr. Floyd. All those in favor of approving the business meeting agenda as presented with the addition, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the agenda has been adopted. Thank you, board members. We will now move to, are we going to do recognitions? I think we have, do we have a special presentation at this point in time? We're going to be doing our recognitions. Here they come. Good evening.
Singing. Step right up and get your papers.
Do you work here or are you trespassing? What's your pleasure? Do I not have your papers and join the strike?
Please.
I'm with you.
Me too.
You're kidding, right?
First the dead, who can trust, them or dead?
Oh, what the heck? My father's gonna kill me anyways.
Yeah!
Now's the time to seize the day.
Now's the time to seize the day. Answer call and don't delay. Wrongs will be righted if we're united. Let us see. Happen to our love. Look what's begun.
Thank you, Royal Oak School of the Arts, for that presentation. That was very special. We'll move to 7.01, our Impact Through Education Awards with Mr. Phil Furr. Welcome, Mr. Furr.
I promise I will not sing or dance. Tough act to follow. Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Kapicki, good evening. Tonight we'll present Impact Through Education Awards to students and staff at Widenkoff Elementary School and Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. Our sponsors for the Impact Awards are our friends at Equitable. At this time, I would like to invite our Equitable representative, Phoebe Son-O, to join me at the front of the room. Before we get started with the awards, please accept our sincere thanks and gratitude to Equitable for its continued sponsorship of the Impact Through Education Awards. Tonight, we will conclude our 14th year of honoring those making an impact in our schools with these awards. We appreciate your support and thank you for helping us celebrate and recognize deserving students and staff. We also want to say a word of thanks to our Cabarrus Regional Chamber and to Concord Trophy Center for providing us with the award plaques each month. Now, on to tonight's awards. May I have the Widenkoff Elementary School administrative team come forward, please? Our first honoree from Widenkoff is Chance Cooper, who's ready to go. Chance, please come forward with your family. Chance is a first grade student at Widenkoff Elementary. He is a model student who consistently exceeds school-wide expectations. Chance is a diligent worker who perseveres and keeps trying until he gets it. He sets an exemplary standard of excellence for everyone around him. Chance is a light in our school community. His kindness and consideration make him beloved amongst staff and peers. When asked to describe Chance, his classmates say he is nice, friendly, responsible, handsome, and most importantly, he is kind. One student said it perfectly, Chance is my best friend. Wouldn't we all be so lucky to have a best friend like Chance? Congratulations, Chance. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Widenkoff Elementary School. Our next honoree from Widenkoff is Angie Mendoza. Angie, please come forward with your family. Angie is a fifth grade student in dual language immersion program at Widenkoff. She is an outstanding student and is always ready to help others. She is mature, easygoing, and is a good friend. She likes books and is always reading. Everywhere you go, you will see her with a book in her hand or in her lunchbox. And it's not always the same one because she has books for different moments, as she may get tired of one and move on to the next one. Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, Lateness Everdeen, and many other book characters have walked with her throughout her Widenkoff time. Being involved in clubs like Vex Robotics, AIG, and Math Olympiad demonstrates her passion for learning and engaging in challenging activities beyond the classroom. Congratulations, Angie. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Wyankoff Elementary School. Also from Wyankoff is support staff member Barbara Wells. Ms. Wells, please come forward with your family. Ms. Wells has been an instructional assistant at Wyankoff for the past 3 years. Prior to her service at Wyankoff, she worked as a preschool teacher for 16 years. She is an important part of the school community at Wyankoff. Ms. Wells helps however needed in whatever capacity on the Wyankoff campus with a smile. Her positive, can-do attitude and loving spirit is contagious. Barbara graduated from the University of Akron in 2015 with a degree in early childhood development and has 3 children at Royal Oak School of the Arts here in Cabarrus County. They're in kindergarten, 3rd, and 8th grade. Ms. Wells shared that she loves coming to work each day to help children grow and succeed. She is a true mentor for students and role model as she strives for greatness each and every day. Congratulations, Barbara. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Wyankoff Elementary. Green dot. And finally, from Wyankoff is teacher Stephanie Newborough. Ms. Newborough, please come forward with your family. Stephanie Newborough has served as a kindergarten teacher for Cabarrus County Schools for the last 19 years, working at both Royal Oaks Elementary and Wyankoff Elementary. She has just recently become the instructional technology facilitator at Wyankoff. Ms. Newborough was nominated because she cares so deeply for the students and for the staff. She goes above and beyond to make sure that things are taken care of and the staff know what to do and how to do things. She helps students and staff however needed and is an integral part of the school community. She and her husband have 2 amazing boys that are both students at Wyankoff. In her spare time, Stephanie loves to coach her school's VEX Robotics team, is an active member of the Cabarrus County Quilters, and enjoys spending time in the mountains with her family. Congratulations, Stephanie. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Wyankoff Elementary School. We'll now continue with our May Impact Through Education Awards by welcoming Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. May I have the CHSI administrative team come forward, please? Our first honoree from the Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute is Krithikesh Karthik. Krithikesh, please come forward with your family. Krithikesh is a freshman student at Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. He is an amazing student and person. Teachers are consistently impressed by his drive and focus on his future. He is a highly motivated, hardworking student who succeeds at any task given to him. He is always available to help his fellow students and volunteers his time outside the classroom. Krithikesh has been a huge help for HOSA and did a great job competing this year. Congratulations, Krithikesh. You are an Impact Through Education Award winner, and possibly the first, for Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. Our next honoree from CHSI is Faith Sharp. Faith, please come forward with your family. Faith is a sophomore student at Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. She is a kind, spirited young woman and takes the initiative to support her peers. She is also always willing to stay behind and help teachers after a school activity. As a member of Student Government Association, Faith has played a vital role in planning events for the student body this school year. Faith is extremely determined and has done very well in the second semester of college classes. We're excited to see what the next school year has in store for her. Congratulations, Faith. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. Next from CHSI is staff member Bonnie Clay, who could not be with us tonight. Ms. Clay is the data manager and treasurer at Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. We refer to her as our front office manager because she greets our families and wears many hats on a day-to-day basis. She greets our families with warmth and has built very positive relationships with our students. Many of our students look to her for advice or just an ear to listen when they are having a rough day. She is always willing to step in and support the school in any manner needed. She makes each day run smoothly, and we're very thankful to have her at our school. Congratulations, Bonnie. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. And finally, from CHSI is teacher Tori McBee. Ms. McBee, please come forward with your family. Ms. McBee is an English teacher at Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. She started our school just this fall, and she has already made an incredible impact because she exemplifies excellence in everything that she does. She is very intentional in her planning process and works with students individually as needed, and she is committed to providing specific feedback to students to help them improve their writing skills. She is incredibly reflective and willing to make adjustments on a daily basis to promote student achievement. We're very proud of the work she's done to prepare our freshmen for their transition to the college courses in sophomore year. Congratulations, Tori. You're an Impact Through Education Award winner for Cabarrus Health Sciences Institute. Thank you. This concludes our Impact Award presentations for tonight. Congratulations to all our recipients, and thanks again to our partners, Equitable and the Cabarrus Chamber of Commerce, for your partnership. We look forward to our 15th year of awards winners beginning in September.
Thank you, Mr. Furr. We'll move to 7.02 with the Hillbish Ford Teacher of the Month with Dr. Michael Williams. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Kopicki, and to our viewing audiences both here and watching the live stream. It is my pleasure to recognize our Hillbish Ford Teacher of the Month for May. We always want to begin with expressing our sincere thanks and gratitude to Mr. Tim Vaughn and Hillbish Ford for their tremendous generosity and continued sponsorship of this wonderful recognition program. If Mr. Vaughn is here, he is not here tonight. Our Hillbish Ford Teacher of the Month for May is Raina Meyer, a math teacher at Concord High School. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Meyer, her family, and the Concord administrative team in attendance to please come forward. Tonight, I'd like to share a nomination submitted by a student about Ms. Meyer. I think she is one of the best teachers who not only taught me a specific subject, but also different life lessons that helped me during my school year by talking to me, asking me if I needed help, or just by saying hello around the hallway. All of that was a constant support to remind me that I wasn't alone, and there was always at least someone that noticed all the effort it took for me just to be in class. The language barrier was something that made me feel different and I wasn't proud of, but Ms. Meyer took her time to explain everything that I didn't understand, whether it was related to class or not. She is a great person who is always positive and knows how to keep going in the hardest moments. Ms. Meyer, thank you for the impact you have made to teach, engage, and inspire the students in your classroom, and congratulations on your selection as Cabarrus County Schools Hillbish Ford Teacher of the Month.
Okay, board members, we'll move to 7.03, our Everyday Hero Award winner with Dr. Jonathan Bowers and Miss Kelly Hodge. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Kopicki.
Good evening.
Yes to you. If I could have Miss Tiara Cannon and any special guests that may be with her tonight, please join us down front. It is certainly once again my pleasure to stand before you tonight and introduce this month's Everyday Hero Award recipient. Sponsored by Great Wolf Lodge, the Everyday Hero Award is intended to recognize the outstanding behind-the-scenes, above and beyond work of our operations team members. This award is presented monthly to an exceptional employee within our auxiliary services team. We all know there is great work being done every day by these employees and many other CCS employees, and we should be recognizing that publicly. This month's recipient of the Everyday Hero Award is Miss Tiara Cannon, Kids Plus Site Director at Wolf Meadow Elementary School. Joining me here tonight is Miss Kelly Hodge, the Assistant Director of our Kids Plus program, and she's going to share with you why Miss Cannon is the embodiment of an everyday hero and is well-deserving recipient of this month's award.
So Tiara is a prime example of what Kids Plus means. She goes above and beyond every day for the kids in her program and the kids at any program that she can come in contact with. She is just, she does it all with a smile on her face and a pep in her step. And when I found out she won, I couldn't wait to be the one to call her and tell her. We're very honored and grateful to have her as part of our team and hope she sticks with us for a long time.
Okay, we'll move to 7.04, our CCS Spelling Bee winner with Miss Tracy Hayes. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Kapicki. We are pleased to be here this evening to recognize many students in our district. And first off, I'm going to introduce Leanne Havley, our K-12 curriculum coordinator, that will be recognizing our Cabarrus County Spelling Bee winner.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me for the chance to recognize Phanidra Bulashu, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. Phanindra is our 2024 District Spelling Bee winner. Not only that, this is the second year in a row that he has won. He is a 6th grader at Harris Road Middle School. He qualified second in the Carolina Panthers Regional Spelling Bee, which qualifies him to participate in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, which begins on May 26th in Maryland. So he will be traveling for Bee Week for the next week to participate, which you can watch on Ion Plus and Ion. So please join me in congratulating Phanindra and wishing him the best of luck as he represents Cabarrus County Schools at the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Okay, we'll move to 7.05, our Euro Challenge with Mr. Gordon Palmer. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair Adcock, Dr. Kapicki, members of the board. We are extremely excited to recognize 4 outstanding students from Hickory Ridge High School and their advisor for their first place finish in the State Euro Challenge and their semi-finalist placement at the national competition in New York City. The students are Varshita Bogala, Vartika Rani, David Bolick, Brady Powell, and their advisor is Mr. Spencer Swindler. The Euro Challenge is a competition that challenges high schoolers to delve into the complex economies of the world and deliver a concluding presentation on selected topics. The insightful and inspiring experience from the Euro Challenge impacts the lives of our youth in many ways, from understanding how an aging population impacts an economy and a country to how renewable resources impact the global markets. Teams create presentations that explore real-world economic problems and allow students the opportunity to step into the shoes of international policymakers by crafting recommendations and solutions. A former student of Mr. Swindler said that this competition inspired her so much that she chose to major in international studies at NC State. From a high school curriculum standpoint, this competition hits on all the skills of the NC Portrait of a Graduate. This year, Hickory Ridge was the only high school from North Carolina to be selected to participate in the national competition. As mentioned, the team took first place and was a semifinalist in New York City. This was a very prestigious competition with several high-ranking officials, and the European Union and the World Affairs Council funded their trip to New York City. The judges for the competition included several prominent leaders in the world economy, including the senior economist to the delegation of the European Union, the chief economist of the global head of economic research at JP Morgan & Chase, the former senior risk manager of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and senior managers from Ernst & Young. At both competitions, the team took on Croatia as their country of choice. The judges' comments on how these students included recognition of the extensive level of research and professionalism of the presentation. We could not be prouder to recognize the Euro Challenge team from Hickory Ridge High School. Thank you.
Okay, we will move to 7.06, our VEX IQ Elementary North Carolina State Champions with Miss Christine Throng.
Good evening. We were excited. My name is Rebecca Welch, and I am here presenting tonight on behalf of Kristen Trong, who I would like to recognize alongside her team. I'm here today to recognize and extend my heartfelt congratulations to the Hickory Ridge Elementary VEX team, Team 9464C, for their outstanding achievement in advancing to the World Championships for VEX Robotics held in Dallas, Texas. They were the only public school team in North Carolina to earn a spot, with their Excellence Award earned at the state championship. It is with immense pride that I inform you that not only did they participate in this prestigious event, but they also emerged victorious by clinching the coveted Innovate Award, defeating over 400 other teams. The Innovate Award is a testament to the team's exceptional design process, which is both effective and meticulously documented. It recognizes a novel aspect of the team's design, emphasizing innovation and ingenuity. I'm pleased to inform you that Team 9464C's submission included an engineering notebook, a requirement for this esteemed accolade, where they meticulously outlined their innovative approach. Judges were directed to this section to witness firsthand the team's exceptional design process. Hickory Ridge's achievement at the World Championships not only brings honor to Cabarrus County Schools, but also reflects the dedication, talent, and hard work of each team member and their coaches. Aubrey Robinson, Arnav Balaji, Oliver Trong, and Lucas Wong, under the expert guidance of coaches Kristen Trong and Rayford Bonnell. They have poured countless hours into practices and competitions leading up to the World Championship. Their commitment, perseverance, and passion for robotics have undoubtedly been key factors in their success. Their triumph underscores Cabarrus County Schools' commitment to fostering excellence in STEM education and preparing students for success in the rapidly evolving world of robotics and engineering. Once again, please join me in applauding Team 9464C for their remarkable accomplishment as world champions, proudly representing Cabarrus County Schools and North Carolina on the global stage of VEX Robotics.
Perfectly. All right. This is going to be a great shot. Here we go. One, two, three. Lots of them. Good job. Congratulations. Okay, we will move to 7.07 with the Governor's School recognitions with Ms. Tracy Hayes. Welcome again.
Thank you. It's good to be back. All right, so coming up to the podium to join me in recognizing our Governor's School students recognized this evening is Genevieve Fast, our AIG District Specialist.
The North Carolina Governor's School is the nation's oldest statewide summer residential program for high school students. The program is a multi-week residential program integrating academic disciplines, the arts, and unique courses on each of 2 campuses. Students are selected to attend through a competitive process after being nominated by their public school unit. I am pleased to announce that Cabarrus County Schools had 26 students that have been selected this year. This includes 15 students from the academic areas of social science, natural science, mathematics, and English. These students are Jasmine Olson from Hickory Ridge High School, Pranavi Kantamnini from Cox Mill High School, Venkata Chairlam Churley from Hickory Ridge High School, Isabella Broughton from Hickory Ridge High School, Mizel Garcia, Hickory Ridge High School, Sweta Chakshi from Northwest Cabarrus High School, Ryan Rucker from Hickory Ridge High School, Sai Varshini Gutta from Hickory Ridge High School, Claire Reinecker, Cabarrus Kannapolis Early College, Anushka Kade, Cabarrus Kannapolis Early College, Kripa Bhatt, Cox Mill High School, Shri Des Abhalte, Cox Mill High School, Tamia Powell, Hickory Ridge High School, Adit Kemdar, Concord High School, Prati Shiravi, Hickory Ridge High School, and Cade Stamey, Mount Pleasant High School. Cabarrus County Schools also had 11 students from the arts areas of choral music, visual art, dance, instrumental music, and theater. In fine arts, Marley Brown from Hickory Ridge High School, Reagan Bailey, Cox Mill High School, Shrikirti Chintale, Cox Mill High School, Arja Day, Northwest Cabarrus, Zoe Demkowski, Hickory Ridge High School, Donovan Baptist, West Cabarrus High School, Sarah Kirchner, Hickory Ridge High School, Taylor Hill, Hickory Ridge High School, Gia Bravo, West Cabarrus High School, and Shannon Costanza from Hickory Ridge High School. Congratulations.
Okay, we'll move to 7.08 with our full ride scholarships with Miss Betsy Navel.
No stranger to up here. Come on this way. Right here is perfect. Pulling in. That's great. Awesome. Good job, guys. And gals.
Good evening, Board, Madam Chair, and Dr. Kapicki. I'm Betsy Navel, High School Counseling Coordinator, and I'm excited to be here, and we thank you for recognizing our hardworking students tonight. We are proud to say we have learned of 13 students across the district who are receiving a full ride scholarship to their college or university. A full ride covers full tuition, room, board, which includes meals, and typically fees, so it's an incredibly big deal, and we are so proud of them all tonight. I've asked them all to come in, and as I say their name, they will step forward. From Central Cabarrus High School, we have Desmond Kent. Desmond will be attending Lees McRae on an athletic basketball scholarship. We are not surprised by this. We know what a great season you guys had. Thank you. Also from Central is Mohammed Oase Cameron, who will be attending Wake Forest in the fall through the STAMP Scholarship, which means he exemplifies leadership, perseverance, scholarship, service, and innovation. Congratulations to you both. From Cabarrus Kannapolis Early College, we have one student who could not be here with us tonight, but I'd still like to recognize her, Alyssa Bissonette, who will be attending UNC Charlotte on the Levine Scholarship. The Levine Scholars Program is a premier merit scholarship that provides full tuition, room, board, a grant to implement a service or outreach project in partnership with a local nonprofit, and 4 distinctive summer experiences that they develop leadership skills, social awareness, and a global perspective. We also have Logan Rakowitz, who will be attending NC State University in the fall through the Goodnight Scholars Program. In addition to the full scholarship, Goodnight Scholars have access to an assortment of developmental programming focused on their professional and personal growth. Way to go, Logan. Also from early college, we have Zamora Reed, who will be attending NC State University on the Dease Distinguished Scholarship, which includes tuition, fees, premium housing, a meal plan, laptop stipend, 4 years of executive mentoring, and a study abroad scholarship in the summer after freshman year. Congratulations. From Cox Mill High School, we have Zoe Locust, who will be also attending NC State University this fall on the Cheatham White Scholarship, which looks for students who are exceptional scholars as well as versatile and well-rounded. Congratulations, Zoe. From Hickory Ridge, we have a few students who could not be with us tonight. Alexis Eusebio, who will be attending Western Carolina University on the NC State Scholarship for Children of War Veterans. We also have Everest Geist, who will be attending Furman on the Bell Tower Scholarship. We also have Sheree Gidney, who will be going to Catawba College on a women's basketball scholarship. And here with us tonight from Hickory Ridge is Jalen Harris, who will be going to Coastal Carolina University on a Division I football scholarship. Congratulations. From J.M. Robinson High School, we have Denas White, who will be going to Florida State University on a football scholarship. Way to go. And we have Ella Hobbs, who will be going to Ohio State University on a basketball scholarship. Congratulations.
Okay, we'll move to 7.09, which is our young authors with Miss Tracy Hayes. Welcome back again.
Thank you. It'll be the last time. Coming in the room will be our young authors winners who are through the North Carolina Reading and Writing Association, who have escalated to being winners. And joining us will be Margaret Gladden. She is a district STEM coach from Northwest Cabarrus High School that is the sponsor of young authors, and she will be recognizing each of these students.
right, so these are our state winners for the North Carolina Reading Association. From Boger Elementary, we have Manvitha Srinivasa Prasad and Abigail Bear. From Carl A. Furr, we have Michaela Cody. From Cox Mill Elementary, we have Dira Balakrishnan. From Odell Primary, we have Dhruv Kaladindi. From Weddington Hills, we have James Eisenhower. And from Winkler Middle, we have Thomas Eisenhower and Dia Kamesh.
All right, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got it. All right, so now we're going to walk down here, and we're going to shake some hands. Come on. There we go. Way to go, guys. Perfect. Right? Way to go, Eisenhower boys. I know your dad's proud of you. All right, families, start coming this way. Come on. Let's go. We're going to go to the store right here. Very good job. Keep going. You're good. Perfect. Anybody else that wants this cake knows to do it?
Okay, we'll move to 7.10 with our art honors students with Mr. Bart Tolbert. Good evening.
Yep.
Make a semicircle here.
There you go.
No more or some more?
All right.
Nope, we got it.
Blow it up. They're still coming. I've got them in two groups. Dr. Kopicki and board members, thank you for this opportunity to celebrate the state and national level achievements by our Cabarrus County Performing Arts teachers and students. I will begin tonight with the ensemble achievements and the representatives from each school who were able to be with us here tonight. We have several schools to recognize. Please hold your applause to the end. The following school ensembles and teachers received superior ratings at the 2024 North Carolina Music Performance Assessment. MPA is the only state-sanctioned event that provides the summative standards-based assessment designed to measure student performance as related to the goals, objectives, and grade-level competencies specified in North Carolina Essential Standards. A rating of superior is the highest level of achievement possible at MPA. The following school ensembles in attendance tonight received that coveted superior rating. The Cox Mill High School Chamber Choir, under the direction of Mrs. Jennifer Cook. The Concord Middle School 7th and 8th grade combined band, under the direction of Mr. Alex Knupp. It is important to note that this was Concord Middle's first superior at MPA in 14 years, and that Mr. Knupp sat himself as a student in that Concord Middle School band in 2010. Hickory Ridge Middle 7th grade band and 8th grade band under the direction of Mr. Nick Carl. Thank you to Rosie, Samuel, and Kosuke for representing the ensembles tonight. Jane Freeze Middle School 7th and 8th combined band under the direction of Mrs. Kelly Carl. Cox Mill Symphonic Band and Cox Mill Wind Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Drew Carter. Thank you to George, Jazz, Aiden, and Gunner for representing Cox Mill tonight. Hickory Ridge High School Concert Band, Symphonic Band, and Wind Ensemble under the direction of Mr. David Rivero. The Hickory Ridge Wind Ensemble also performed at the Southeastern Music for All Regional Music Festival at Georgia State University, where they received a superior rating. Thanks to Nihal also for representing Hickory Ridge High School tonight. And finally, Concord High School Concert Band under the direction of Mr. Ed Harper. Here tonight with Mr. Harper are the two members of the marching band, Timothy Weaver and TJ Robinson. Timothy is wearing the uniform that Concord Band has performed in for the past 25 years. TJ is wearing the new Concord Band uniform that will take the performance field for the very first time in the fall of 2024. Congratulations to our superior performing arts ensembles.
Keep coming this way. Just keep walking down this way. We'll fill it in here. Here we go. Keep going. This is actually a good spot. Yeah. Wait a second.
And now we move to the individual performance achievements for each school who has students in attendance tonight. Please hold your applause until the end. Under the caption of choral performance, the following students auditioned and were selected for the North Carolina Honors Chorus. From Patriots Elementary School, Grayson Muller and Elijah Smith, and from Cox Mill High School, Ella Wood. Under the caption of concert band performance, the following students auditioned and were selected for the North Carolina All-State Band. From Jan Fries Middle School, Garrett Baker. From Hickory Ridge Middle School, Neela Bengala. And from Hickory Ridge High School, Shanna Constanza, Jamison Young, and Colin Baker. Under the caption of jazz performance, the following students auditioned and were selected for the North Carolina All-State Jazz Band. From Hickory Ridge Middle School, Kayla Powell, and Hickory Ridge High School, Jamison Young. Congratulations to our outstanding performing artists.
Okay, I think that's all of our recognitions, which has been a wonderful night of recognitions. Absolutely. Okay, board members, we'll go to 8.01, where I will call for a motion to approve the open session minutes for April 8th, 15th, and 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Lindsay, a second by Mr. Treadaway. Are there any discussion about the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving these minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved as presented. Okay, board members, we'll move to 9.01, board chair comments. Board members, I just wanted to say we're in the final weeks of 2023-24 school year, and the Board of Education has done excellent work during this school year. And each of you has dedicated many hours of your time to complete what we see in these meetings. And I just want to say thank you to all the board members for their service to the kids of Cabarrus County. Being on a school board is an honor and a privilege, but it also requires a lot of hard work and effort on the board members' part. We all have families to take care of. Some of us have full-time jobs, part-time jobs that compete for our time. But even though we don't agree, we always remain respectful of each other. And I'm just proud to be a part of this team and to serve alongside each of you as we continue the work of the school board into next year. So thank you, board members, and I'd like to just take this time. Okay, we'll move to 9.02 with Dr. Kopicki and superintendent comments.
Thank you, Mrs. Adcock. Just to kind of drive that point home a little further, I want to say to the board, thank you for your support, because what you saw tonight is a result of your hard work. You do set the table and a lot of the things that you do and you approve, and you can see the results of that this evening as our students walk across
and greet all of us in a very successful manner. However, I also want to remind everybody, not only here this evening at the meeting, but our entire Cabarrus County community. One of the things that I talk quite a bit about to our administrators and teachers and those I interact with is that I don't think we realize how great our school system is. I've had the opportunity, most recently last week, I was in another state touring another school system and looking at what they had. And while they have a good school system, I can tell you what they were bragging about, we are probably already, not probably, we are already there doing it and exceeding what they're trying to achieve. And it's very interesting to go to different places and see what other school systems are trying to attain, and then you see with your own eye and you say, we're already doing that, and we're already kind of moving beyond the needle. I talk to our folks all the time about locally, regionally, and nationally, and I also talk about being one of the best school systems in the country. I argue that I can show the evidence and the data that can support that. Well, it came across tonight. If you thought about what you saw our kids competing at the local level successfully, at the regional level successfully, and at the national level successfully. New York City, Dallas, Texas, Washington, D.C., the state of North Carolina with all the awards at the governor's schools. Not only that, the impression that is left upon me is that we're not only exceeding academically and athletically, but the arts. How important the arts are and how important those extracurricular events are. The VEX Robotics, the art programs, the music programs, the theater programs. They may be the single reason a child is getting up in the morning and coming to school, and we offer the access, resource, and opportunities to our school students and our community for them when they come to Cabarrus County school systems. So you should applaud yourselves because you built an incredible school system. You continue to support it, and the best part about it is that our students continue to excel locally, regionally, and nationally. And that is something you should be extremely proud of. That does not happen everywhere. And I am so proud of our students. I'm so proud of our board. And I cannot say enough things about our administrators and our teachers and the accolades I want to toss at them for what they produce on a daily basis and the dedication and the time that they put into all the things that our students achieve. So I thank all of them for that. I just really want us to understand the accomplishments of our students and how good our system is. It is an extraordinary educational system that we live in here in Cabarrus County. We should be very proud of that. And I can tell you as superintendent, it's humbling to watch our kids walk across and see all the accomplishments that they do. We may have our disagreements at times, but the one thing I can say to you 100% that this board and our teachers and our administrators are all focused on the right thing, kids. And I applaud you all for that, and I thank you for that. That being said, our end-of-year testing has begun. We ask all our parents and all of our caregivers to make sure that our children get a good night's rest and they're prepared to take their test, and we wish them well. We are excited to see what those results will be because we do believe that our children will again continue to be successful. Our traditional high school exams, they begin on May 16th and will run until May 22nd. And on May 22nd, we will have an early dismissal, and that's the final day of school for all traditional calendar students. We have an upcoming job fair May 29th at the Cabarrus County Schools Human Resources and Auxiliary Services will host a job fair for transportation, school nutrition, Kids Plus, and facilities. And this hiring event will be on the campus of the Cabarrus Early College of Technology from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, if you're looking for employment, we have many good career-oriented opportunities here in Cabarrus County. It is a great system to work in and be part of. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for employment, please look no further than the Cabarrus County Schools. We have many opportunities for many different careers for our community. We have a safety town for rising kindergartens taking place. The Junior Charity League of Concord will host their annual safety town for rising kindergartens on July 29th and 30th from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Royal Oaks School of the Arts. We ask you to help your rising kindergarten start this school year strong with this free half-day event with age-appropriate programming on nutrition, dental hygiene, gun safety, fire safety, stranger danger, and more. And if you want to learn more about this, you just need to look at the Junior Charity League on the Concord website. Reminding all of our folks that that great day of culmination is coming up real quick. This Saturday, May 18th at West Cabarrus High School at 10 a.m., our early college high school will graduate. And at 1 p.m. on the same day, the same site, West Cabarrus High School, our Cabarrus Early College of Technology will graduate. We then proceed to Wednesday, May 22nd at Cabarrus County Arena. 5 p.m. our Performance Learning Center will graduate, followed 6:30 with our Cabarrus Virtual Academy graduation. Thursday, May 23rd at the Cabarrus Arena, J.M. Robinson kicks off our day at 9 o'clock with their graduation, followed at 12:30 by Mount Pleasant High School. Moving into the early evening at 4 o'clock, Northwest Cabarrus High School, and 7:30 p.m. will be the closing graduation ceremony on May 23rd with West Cabarrus High School graduating. Lastly, on February 24th at the arena, Concord High School begins their festivities at 9 a.m. Cox Mill High School is at 12:30 p.m. Central Cabarrus begins the early evening program at 4 o'clock p.m. and Hickory Ridge ends the evening at 7:30 p.m. So we encourage everyone to please come out to those events and celebrate the graduations of all of our students in Cabarrus County. Our open house for the fall of 2024 will take place on August 7th from 4:30 to 6:30. And yes, board members, this does not conflict with a board meeting. So I can assure you that that will not happen. We heard you loud and clear. I want to let you know we're collaborative here. So thank you for that. Those open houses will be Monday the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. and the elementary open houses will be Tuesday on August 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. Then lastly, I just want to share some information with our public. I was asked recently for some information about our school safety grants. I want to be very open and honest and share this information with you. And I will be very upfront about this. I will not share all of the safety things that we do in the Cabarrus County school system. And I think that's logical that most people are going to understand that I can't share everything with you because our job is to keep kids safe. But I will say to you is this. We received $1,149,978 this year in our first grant school safety grant we received from the state of North Carolina. That money was put towards all of our SROs in our elementary and middle schools. So again, $1,149,978 was used to pay for our SROs in the middle schools and the elementary schools. The second grant award that we received $500,000. $276,100 of that went for access control, which is the entry points of the school systems when you come in. That access control cost is $175,300. The signage was $800, and we put $100,000 into more cameras to continue to keep our schools safe. We used $14,400 of that grant for students in crisis. This money was used to help launch a recovery high school program for students that are battling substance abuse and who are working towards sobriety and drug-free living. These students access their academic content through the virtual academy and receive on-site management services and in-person educational support when necessary. They have ongoing individual and family counseling, and funds from the school safety grant are used to support the payment of some of our contracted counseling services for those students who are both uninsured and underinsured. So we use $14,400 for that. Lastly, we spent $209,500 of that second grant for training to increase school safety. Much of this is distributed through our training and our professional development with our SIS team, our administrators, and our teachers. We use that over the summer for our school safety summit and our SIS summer program, the institute that we have there. There are both physical and psychological safety things that we do based on the Prepare Crisis curriculum that we use that grant money to support. So again, these funds are used for a lot of the professional development that we do. So in total, we received $1,649,978 of school safety grant money from the North Carolina DPI this school year. And that is what we allocated that money for. So again, I wanted to share that with the public and to be very open about that because I was asked about that and I wanted to make sure that we report on that as well. Thank you, Mrs. Adcock.
Thank you, Dr. Kopicki. We'll move to 9.03 with our board attorney comments. Mr. Eisenhower, do you have anything to share with the board? Thank you. Okay, at this time we will move to 10.01 where our guest speakers address the board. It is now time for public comment. Each speaker will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak, and an individual speaking for a group may be allowed up to 5 minutes at the discretion of the board chair to express interest and concerns related to the official business of the board and school district. The speakers will be called in the order in which they were received. A person may not be substituted for a speaker, nor may one speaker donate time to another speaker. If a speaker runs out of time, then the speaker may leave additional information with the board clerk. Statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. Any limitation or public comment shall be viewpoint neutral. The board chair has the authority to rule the speaker out of order. If a speaker or attendee willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupts this meeting and refuses to leave after being asked by the board chair, then the speaker may be escorted out and could be arrested for trespassing or disrupting an official meeting. Board members will not respond to individuals who address the board except to request clarification of points made by the presenter. So our first speaker is Paul Wanish.
Old knees.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Try and get set up here. Good evening to the board members and Dr. Kapicki. Thank you for your discussion of safety within the school district. I'm speaking today on Columbine Massacre Anniversary and changes to CCS. Sadly, we recognize the slaying of 14 students and staff at a high school 25 years ago. The security of educational facilities changed forever, and history has shown that this was not an isolated risk, happening 28 more times around the country with almost 600 more people killed or injured in 25 years. The U.S. has taken this seriously. New recommendations have come for enhancements in police, social service presence, cultural education, and reduced violence and architectural changes, several addressed by Dr. Kapicki. To this end, I compliment the board and the superintendent for adding staff to every campus, focusing on most on the above. These enhancements were recommended at least from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction in 2008, in 2013-14, and from FEMA. Key in all of these is school architecture design. In this area, the board and superintendent have fallen short. Safety is about reducing the risk, and remaining risk in our district is a heavy dependency on temporary classrooms. The district has put 80 classrooms around the district, over 150,000 square feet, starting in 2006. The State Department of Public Instruction again said in 2020, further reducing the use of temporary facilities should remain a high priority. Further classrooms were added after the schools were designed. The building is designed for a specific load. Keeping the children outside adds to the building's load without being reflected in the architectural design. Schools with temporary classrooms now have lunches at 10:30 in the morning, standing room only for bingo nights and school performances, hallways overcrowded during to transition time as well. Temporary classrooms are the district's tent community, living without water and without restroom facilities in the buildings that do not have structural integrity of the main building. Tornado resistance is not there. Colleges today are clearing their communities, and we should do the same with our temporary classrooms. All this is possible. The Senate statute requires the board to define the needs of the school and not temporary classrooms to the commissioners. The commissioners are chartered to find the funds. They are only the agents for us in this statute. Through the statute, though the statute does acknowledge temporary classrooms, it is an afterthought. Finding the source is not even defined. Members of the board, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Michelle Williams. Welcome.
Hi. Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Kapicki, and fellow board members. My name is Michelle Williams. I am a certified teacher, a PTO board member at my kids' school in the county, and I'm running for school board. I want to say thank you to all the teachers and staff during Teacher Appreciation Week last week. Your hard work is appreciated. I want to express my gratitude to the board for advocating for our teachers and staff during the legislative meeting last month, as well as your continued advocacy efforts in support of our students, families, and staff. Today, I would like to discuss the concept of cycles. A cycle is defined as a course or series of events or operations that recur regularly and usually lead back to the starting point. I've noticed that our county has been in a series of cycles, some that are very good and some we are working on. Today, I will talk about the ones that we need a little bit work on. Some of our talented teachers are leaving the district for neighboring districts or leaving the teaching profession as a whole, resulting in numerous staff vacancies. We are in a cycle of searching for ways to retain our teachers and not give master's pay or adequate retirement insurance funds. The staff, including bus drivers and support staff, are often overworked and underpaid, perpetuating the cycle. A cycle of some of the teachers and admin that use their own personal funds for resources from time to time. A cycle where county-wide budget constraints are a barrier to have TAs in every single kindergarten class across our county. A cycle of not having enough NC pre-K programs in our district. Studies show that early childhood education is essential in setting a foundation that aids in the overall success of supporting the whole child. A cycle of some schools with over 1,000 students that have one counselor for K through 2nd and one for 3rd through 5th, which can overwhelm the staff. The recommended ratio for social workers and counselors is 1 to every 250, and school psychologists 1 to every 500 to 700. Concerned community members have raised issues about personnel shortages leading to larger class sizes, lack of funding for certain art and music programs in some middle and high schools, and the absence of some certified teachers in certain classes for a good portion of the year. Will these all become cycles? Breaking some of these cycles can be challenging, especially those that are prevalent throughout our nation. I urge community members, parents, and students to speak up and express their needs and concerns to our board and superintendent. It's equally crucial for our superintendent and board to continue to be persistent in advocating for adequate funding from county commissioners. Additionally, I encourage teachers and principals to continue their efforts in securing the necessary funds to support the well-rounded development of our students. I urge the commissioners to increase funding for our schools, offer higher teacher supplements, and raise pay for classified positions to attract and retain top quality staff. Lastly, I appeal to legislators in Raleigh to prioritize elevating teacher salaries, bring back master's pay, offering better retirement benefits, and increasing funding for our schools, which will enable us to hire more school nurses, counselors, social workers, and psychologists. I understand that there are no easy answers and that this process will require a lot of time and configuration. Here's my voice in advocacy. Let's continue to work together to break these cycles that affect our students and support our kids' overall success in high-quality education. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Sheila Carlberg? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sheila Carlberg, mom of a middle school student at Harris Road Middle and a freshman at Cox Mill High. We can all agree that cell phones have no place in the classroom. Studies show that test scores increase up to 14% when phones are removed. Students not using their phones during a lecture wrote down 62% more information and scored a full letter grade and a half higher than students on their phone. 82% of parents don't want phones in schools. 65% of students admit to seeing other students cheating using their phones. Even when people are successful at maintaining attention, phones reduce cognitive capacity. 1/3 of U.S. teens say they're on social media almost constantly, yet they're more depressed and lonely than any other generation. Norway did a study, a 73-page study, banned cell phones in the country. They improved academics, reduced bullying, and reduced a student's need for counseling by 60%. Phones are instigating violence in our schools. Students walk around like paparazzi, compelling conflict with their phones out, trying to catch the next moment on film. Last week at Cox Mill, a student's jaw was broken while all the kids just stood around and videotaped the fight. At Harris Road, where phones aren't allowed, my middle schooler hasn't witnessed a single fight. It's a drastic difference. There are no significant benefits for allowing cell phone use in our schools. In fact, 76% of schools prohibit non-academic use of cell phones during school hours. I understand the current high school policy does ban phones during academic instruction, but my high school student has access to his phone in every class. Rewriting the current policy is meaningless if there's no backbone or enforcement. Currently, phone use during the high school day is prolific. unless we move to create a policy with teeth, perhaps something requiring parents to come to an office to collect a phone, or a policy that truly supports teachers. Nothing is going to change. My son says every teacher asks students to turn in their phones at the beginning of semester. No one does it. In classes that try to collect phones, students turn in empty phone cases or say they don't have it. Florida, Oklahoma, Vermont, and Kansas have all passed bills to control phone use in schools. Maryland, California, Virginia, and Connecticut have also implemented bans. North Carolina has got to get on board. Not only banning, but enforcing the ban of cell phones in classroom in a uniform policy across Cabarrus County is an essential tool in improving the education of our students. We need to focus on enforcement and implementation. Phones are destroying our education, and it has to stop. I emailed you all this presentation last week. I'll drop it off with the board chair, as well as a presentation from Protect Young Eyes on phone-free schools. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to 11.01 with committee reports. Board members, do you have any committee reports you'd like to share? Okay. So we will move to 12.01, which is our consent agenda. And listed here are the items on our consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Floyd, a second by Mr. Treadaway. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The consent agenda is approved. We'll move to our action items. The first action item is 13.01, our policy for approval on first read. So we will talk about this policy. Mr. LeGrand, do you want to come up? This is policy 4318, use of electronic devices. Is there any additional discussion, board members, about the policy? Ms. Lindsay.
So I've talked to a lot of community members, parents, teachers over the last week since we went over this policy, and I am hearing an overwhelming amount of teachers and parents that want us to be more strict on this policy for high school as well. They would like for, one of the things is that currently the policy that we have in place is not too much off from what we're requesting to change on the high school level. They want to see no devices at all, just like in elementary and middle school. Has anyone else had those conversations at all this week as well, or no?
Board members, anybody else want to comment on that?
I've had similar conversations with my neighbors, but there is a concern at the high school level of pulling the phones completely. So I too would like a similar middle school policy. I think that would make sense, since if they're moving through our schools, they're used to it in middle school. When they come to be freshmen, it wouldn't be that big of a shock to the system. I understand that transition would be hard. I'm willing to support this policy if we look at it as a transition, like Mr. Treadaway said last week, that this is the start, but this is definitely not the end, and we would need to examine what is happening at the high school level, maybe within the first 3 months, and then talk about the possibility of increasing the time, or taking away the times that it's available to students, specifically related to events or even at lunchtime or downtime. Because right now middle school is, they can have the phone on them, they can use it on the bus, and they can use it after school. So that's the thought of possibly moving it to the high schools.
Any other, Ms. Sandage?
So for me, I had a conversation with my high schooler, and she was like, this is already in place at her school, so she didn't understand what was the big deal about it. So I think I don't know. For me, I'm okay with the work that's been done on this policy. I'm okay with, restricting phones, but I think when we start restricting access to things, we have to start having a conversation with everybody about restricting as a whole, not just cell phones. There's a lot of things that are restricted in life, and there's a big fuss about it. So I just think we need to be cognizant of the message that we send when we start to restrict things from people.
Mr. Walter.
I think I'd like to see this on the Engage CCS page, get some more feedback from just a larger community, not just a small group that knows what's going on here that may be watching our meeting. I think a lot of people aren't really aware of the proposed changes or even the discussion. So I'd like to see it added if we could.
Mr. Floyd.
Similar to a lot of folks, I mean, you guys heard me last week. My initial feeling is to definitely be in favor of overall zero tolerance, and I think that's what a lot of folks want. But I will tell you, I did hear and I did listen to the fact that the work group came up with this, and who was included in that work group, who is largely made up of the troops on the ground, whose opinions I will respect and support. I would like to see us look at evolving and increasing the policy or increasing the restriction on the policy. But I do think that it is worth a lot, the people who put into this policy and their experience, and them being the ones that are going to have to implement it. I think that their opinion is very important as well. But like everybody else, I would like to let this be a step along the way to hopefully an ultimate destination that I think will be overall better for our students' mental health, and just our society as a whole.
Ms. Sandage.
Is there any way to put the summary breakdown up of what this will look like in each level? So elementary, what does this look like? Middle school, what does this look like? High school, what does this look like?
I think
there was a summary that we received last week. I just wanted to see if there was
yeah,
any
the
way.
stance is that on? It should be on board docs.
Yeah.
Is the PowerPoint still on board docs? Oh, it is. Thank you. So if you scroll through to, slide 4. There's the breakdown of, well, there was the breakdown of all 3.
And can you just summarize what's the big change from middle school to high school?
So from middle school to high school, the students in middle school are not allowed to utilize cellular phones from the opening bell to the time the dismissal bell rings. In high school, they are allowed to use it when they're not in the classroom engaged in learning in their daily instruction.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Mr. Treadaway.
I'm reiterating, I guess, what I said last week. Being on that committee was charged, I don't remember if it was implied or explicit, but it was about instruction. That was really the focus of that committee. And then as we looked at it more and more, and updating the language included beepers and things like that.
Two-way radio.
Yeah, right. It was very dated. Mm-hmm. So, and that's part of the challenge, is that we had to get in. That's why the title is electronic devices, not cell phones, because there's so many things, and we're trying to think about what will the next iteration of electronic devices be in our language. As I did more studying and work on this, my mindset changed a lot more toward mental health. and the data is clear on that. I do see, and I'm cognizant as well, from my past experience, we're running into a time frame of getting rules and policies and things like that for our next school year. I think this is a transitional policy. I would like to come back and visit it next fall. I think that I'm always, whether I was a principal or a board member, I'm concerned about policies that are going to be difficult to enforce. And I'm not sure we have the buy-in with the staff right now that we need. I'm sure that will come. And one of the missions of this is to solve inconsistencies that we have from school to school right now. We're not consistent. I can tell you that we're not consistent. And I think there's a big focus, and Mr. LeGrand, I got the impression from everyone involved in this is what we're going to do system-wide.
That's right.
And we're going to be consistent with it. So I am prepared to vote in favor of this with the understanding that we come back in earnest in the fall, revisit this, and maybe come back to our high school staff and maybe share some of those statistics with them so that we can get a better buy-in and see where we go from there.
Yes, Ms.
So
Sanders.
just to clarify and ask a question, so how is it that one school where my daughter attends is able to require that people give their cell phones or put their cell phones up, and then another school is not, if we're all supposed to be following the same policy?
That has been different practices implemented by different staffs, and the charge of this group was to have a consistent approach and a consistent implementation, and that was a big part of our discussion.
And I think that speaks to Mr. Treadway's point, like how do we make sure that there's a policy in place right now, maybe it may be implemented different somewhere else. How do we ensure that this is implemented the same way district-wide? What happens there?
We made a lot more consistent language into the policy, and also we'll be rolling it out as a new policy, a new approach, a new implementation that everyone needs to follow in a consistent manner.
Okay. Well, I'll just say I do share the concern of making sure that one school is not doing something different from another school. I do share that concern.
I do want to point out too, Concord High School has almost been like a pilot that we've modeled a lot of the language and the protocols about. So it is kind of the model that we're hoping to use system-wide.
It does seem like other schools are already doing that though, because my daughter's like, we can't even have our cell phones out, and she's at West.
Ms. Lindsay.
So I do, so speaking to some teachers, I think that they wanted it to be more strict because right now they feel like they don't have the backing from their administration to be able to enforce what they want to enforce. So I do hope that, and absolutely agree with what the rest of y'all say, that this should be just a transition, but we truly have to make sure that all of the schools are adhering to this, because I've heard from folks, boots on the ground, that have said, you know, we may have this policy in place, however, principal or whoever trumps whatever board policy is. They're the ones that make the culture in the school. They make the decisions. Well, that kind of mindset is going to have to change if we truly want to see a policy that is going to be followed throughout the entire system. I definitely would like to see us revisit this in the fall and get feedback from the high schools especially, to see how this is working for them, so that if we can, you know, make things more strict, and even if it has more teeth to it as far as what the punishments are, you know, having a parent have to come down there and get that phone, that's going to make them understand, like, this is not something that is, we're not playing with this, like, this has to be followed. So I do want to see that transition into that in the fall and get some more feedback on that, but I do appreciate all of the work that went into the policy committee looking at this, so thank y'all.
So board members, it sounds like that we need to change the motion to include language that we will approve this with stipulation that there be revisited in the fall. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
This is only a first read. It's going to come back to us next month.
So this was gonna be voted on tonight, is that not right, for approval?
As a first read policy.
Yeah, I think what,
The first read was last Monday, and so this would be the second read. This was taken off the consent agenda and put onto the action item. Right. It's actually the second read. It was.
Mr. Walter?
I disagree with that. This is a first read. It was on consent, yes, taken off consent because we had a discussion, and then we're voting on it this time as a first read policy. As we do with every other policy, there's an opportunity now for the public to review what we're proposing to implement and give us another opportunity to comment next month before we actually put it into place.
So I would recommend that we act on it as a first read policy, bring it back in June, and then we can talk about if you want to change the motion as it sits for the second read. You can stick to this, pass it as a first read. We can bring it back in the June meeting for the second read. We will bring this committee back together in the fall, no matter what the motion says. So that's an easy thing to do. So I can tell you that we, as your superintendent, we will bring this back in the fall. We will have board representation on that committee, as we have, and we'll revisit it. I think that if I'm hearing the board correctly in the community, we like the way we like the direction in which we're moving. We just like to see it to be a little more. We want to revise it, make it a stronger policy, so that we can get down to why we're here, which is instruction of students in the schools, and pull the cell phones out of the classroom. So I hear you. I think you kind of keep it as it is, vote on the motion as first. We will bring it back as a second read in June. I will set dates for that committee to get in place. We can come back in June. We can come back next month, have the dates for that committee already set up with Mr. LeGrand and his team, and we can bring that to the board.
Okay, anything else about this, board members?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to remind the board that we need a policy by June, I would think, because we've got parents and things looking for those kinds of things. So I guess my point is that if we put it till June, which I have no problem with, we need a policy coming out of that meeting. We can't kick that one down the road.
Yeah, and Mr. Treadaway, that's a good point. What I am recommending to the board is when you get to June, this is the policy you're going to see. We're not going to change it. We're asking you to approve this policy, and then our intention then is to put the committee back together. At that same meeting, I'll have Mr. LeGrand give us the dates as to when the committee's going to meet first thing in the fall. And then we'll kind of look at a 3-month, 6-month look over. We can decide what that looks like. We could also decide on maybe surveying our students and our community as well, and get some feedback if you'd like. But I also want to relate to what Mr. Floyd said. You have great people with boots on the ground who are going to give you good feedback. I think we're heading in the right direction. So I would just again recommend we approve this tonight, first read, approve it for the second read in June. We'll talk about what that committee looks like at that meeting, and we'll move forward.
We don't need a vote.
I misspoke when I said vote right. I'm rushing the second read, Mr. Treadaway.
Ms. Lindsay.
So I would like to encourage, since we won't be voting on this until June at the business meeting, right? Right. So I would encourage parents to please come and speak in the June meeting. If you do have questions about this, concerns, please let us know, because we are very interested in what your perspective is on this and what we can do to make it better for everyone. So.
And I'll agree with that, but I just want to reiterate home that this policy will come back to you in June with no changes to it, to vote on this policy, so we're prepared to open the school year in August. Thank you.
Okay, so with that said, then we'll just move to 13.02, the school fee revisions for 24-25.
Yeah, thank you, Chairwoman Adcock. Just an update following our discussion last week on the school fees and having a chance to discuss this with Dr. Kopicki. We've decided to pull the middle school uniform increase request, but we would like to move forward with a request for a $5 increase to the maximum price for yearbooks.
Any other comments about that, Mr. Walter?
Yeah, I'm not even sure why the board is approving getting involved in yearbook costs, but anyhow, I'm okay with that part. I just still see a discrepancy from, if I look at the fee crosswalk, and I see a $50 fee for instrument usage. I think that's unfair. I think that's a disincentive, especially after the discussions tonight and having a budget surplus of over $1 million. I don't think we should have a $50 fee to disincentive students taking band classes if they see that ahead of time. So I'd like to resolve that inconsistency and make it consistent with the rest of it. So I would move that we approve the fee revisions with $5 increase for the yearbook fee to $45, and then a reduction in the instrument usage fee to $30.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor that want to reduce the instrument fee from $50 to $30.
I'll second that, but can we have some discussion about it?
Okay, Miss Lindsay.
So, and I hear what you're saying. So please understand, like I want everything to be as low as we can possibly get it for any families and not deter any children from participating. But I guess my question is that feasible? Because I know that we've read information about the cleaning fees of these instruments and how expensive that is after the season is over for them to clean them. So do you have any insight in that?
I don't, but we can get a report on exactly how much we've spent, because none of us on this board know exactly how much is spent every year.
And that was my thought too. I'm trying to figure out, we don't have any information in relation to what the school is paying in versus what parents are paying and what the real cost breakdown is. I'm a little leery about the yearbook too. I did read the email that was sent to us from one of the folks that is requesting, one of the staff that is requesting the increase in the $5. Where my concern is about every school is not needing to go up to $45. So I'm trying to figure out why are we increasing it for every school?
It wouldn't be for every school. It would just be the maximum price that you could charge at a school. So some schools may remain with the same price. Some with the needs to go up at this point can't go above the $40 maximum price. This would give them the ability to go above the 45.
So it doesn't suggest, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So it doesn't suggest that we can go up to 45 and maybe we need to do something different so we can go to 45. Those schools that are at 20 are going to stay at 20.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, I feel better. Thank you. So that was my question. I don't know if we can get more information about the band's information and trying to understand the cost variance from the two and what the parents are spending as opposed to what we're spending.
If we tabled this till next month, does that create a big problem?
I would ask that you vote on the recommendation that's in front of you for this evening. We can get you that information, but I would still ask that we move forward with the recommendation that sits and not to table it.
So could we just vote on the yearbook and we can deal with the band? Like we could get the information that we need.
Well,
on it and
how
then
about
vote.
yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Lindsay.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I would recommend that we vote on the motion as it sits. Let us go back and look at the instrument usage fee. I can work with Mr. Penn and his team. We can gather that information up, and if after we get that information, look at those fees, we feel as though that the $50 is too high, we can adjust it. But I would ask for you to not change it now. That's what it was for 23-24. Keep it as it is and let us go back and do some work. We can come back in June and say,
Well,
okay.
The motion is to change it. I'd like to have that information before that happens.
Ms. Escobar.
I don't remember the breakdown, but I do remember having this conversation a year ago.
Yep.
And so I can't recall the specifics, but I can say that $50 doesn't even cover what we're actually paying. And so I remember that. I remember being like, I know it feels expensive, and it seems like a big increase because there had been a huge time since we had actually touched that fee. So I don't oppose the idea of revisiting those numbers, but the motion in front of us was not to talk about that fee. We voted on that last year. So I understand your concerns, and I'm not saying I'm against them, but I would just ask if you could table your motion until we get that information versus holding up this vote.
I think the motion is the motion at the moment, so I think it's too high. I think it's a disincentive no matter what it is. And based on the, obviously we have a budget surplus. If things are important to us, we need to say that's part of the cost of operation, just like anything else is.
So there's a motion on the floor that Mr. Walter has put forward. Is there a second on that motion? Okay. Okay, so we'll vote on that motion. All those in favor of making adjustments to these charges, as Mr. Walter has said, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay, so that motion does not pass. So we'll go back to the original motion, which is to approve this document, the school fee revisions, with Dr. Kopicki's recommendations that they'll look at them and get back to us. So I need a motion to approve the school fee revisions as presented.
Madam Chair, I'm prepared to make that motion with one caveat, that we make it clear that $45 is the maximum, because it does look like it's a uniform fee if we're not careful.
Yeah, that is the maximum price
that we
allowed
make it
to be
clear.
charged for a middle school yearbook.
So I'm willing to make that motion.
Okay, now there's a motion on the floor that we approve this with a maximum of $45 for a yearbook.
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Mr. Treadaway, a second by Ms. Lindsay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, so that motion passes. Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. LeGrand, thank you. Okay, board members, we will move to 13.03. This is the motion that we added, the item we added for action. I need a motion that the board enter into a 6-month engagement with Johnston, Alliston, Horde, and Campbell Shatley from 5/13/24 to 11/30/24.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Floyd, a second by Mr. Treadaway. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, that motion passes. Okay, board members, we come to the end of our meeting. We'll move to 14.01. I call for a motion.
Is there any discussion on that?
We already had some discussion on that earlier when we were in closed session.
Okay.
Okay, so 14.01, I call for a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Lindsay, a second by Mr. Floyd. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? This meeting is now adjourned.